We are back from commercial break, ladies, and this is a very, very special episode. My daughter has been on, Ashley. Beverly's daughter has been on, Ashley, another Ashley. And today is a special day because we got Cheryl T's daughter on, Jasmine.
Jasmine,
So she's gonna come on today and share with us on a very serious subject topic. And we are sure that our listeners are going to be moved, inspired, and hopefully help at least one person out there in the universe. We'd like to welcome to the island, all the way from Dallas, Jasmine.
Hi, everyone.
Hey,
you're my
Jazz.
favorite daughter.
And only.
I
daughter.
know.
That's something, y'all.
Child.
Say that again, Jazz.
Whenever she says you're my favorite daughter, I always correct her and say favorite child.
Oh, that's right, because she does have another child, right?
Yes.
Yes.
But it's what I thought about? Each one of us only has one daughter. Isn't that cool?
One daughter.
That's all we can take, right?
Yes.
One is enough.
That's all I can take.
We love you, but one is enough.
I'm feeling the love.
But anyway, Jazz, I want to say thank you so much for coming to the island and taking time out of your busy schedule to share your story, to share your journey. And it's an ongoing journey. And today we're going to be talking about addiction, in particular, alcohol. And so, Jasmine, I've known since you were in middle school, maybe?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, middle school, when you were playing basketball, and then went on to high school and had some injuries when it came to basketball. But I know that you went on to Oklahoma. And
Oklahoma State.
Oklahoma
Go Pokes.
State, and graduated with horticulture.
Landscape management.
Landscape management. Okay. Let me get it right.
Close.
Very close,
Anyway,
yes.
So Jasmine is here to share her journey and story. And so I think Beverly's up first to get us started.
Well, I have to share this with you. We're just excited, girl. Did you hear?
Finally.
Just
I know, I'm
Lady
happy to
Vee,
be
I've
here.
known her a long time and just a daughter, and always kept up with everything she was doing. So we're excited, Jazz, to have you on. I have to share with you, and your mom may have told you, and listeners, don't get all aghast when I say this, but I've been drinking since I was 7 years old. And so I tell everybody, oh yeah, I've been drinking since I was 7, but I'll explain it real quick. And then I have a question for you. My parents back in the day, and my mother's 99, so I'm talking way back in the day, used to have parties, but I wanted to help clean up. And I would always take a little sip to see what everybody was drinking and sipping with my parents. And I never got caught until the end. And my uncle, I just told him it was an honest mistake. But with that said, I have been fortunate enough that I didn't get addicted to it, but I tried it. So when did you first consume alcohol?
Ooh, I can't wait to hear this answer.
I promise I'd be honest.
Thank you, and I appreciate that in advance.
Of course.
Yes.
Yeah. No, I'm an adult, and she can't punish me anymore.
Girl, you better watch it. I'll be on the next flight to Dallas
with a belt and a switch.
No, time out.
Oh, okay. So yeah, the first time I drank was in high school. I didn't get drunk. I just wanted to try it. And full disclosure, I tried a lot of other things in high school as well. A lot of other mind-altering substances that I won't get into. But the first time I got drunk, I was 18 years old. It was after I graduated high school, and my family and I went on a cruise. And I was upset because my cousin had kissed this guy that I thought I liked. And we had made a bunch of friends on the cruise, and I told one of them, hey, I want to get drunk, just right off the bat, trying to escape my feelings. And it was like you'll hear it all the time in the meetings I go to, but it was like, I have arrived. This feels amazing. I love this feeling and I don't want it to end. So that's my long way of saying it was um when I really started was when I was 18.
Okay.
So you tasted it and it was good.
It wasn't about the taste. It was about the effect for me.
That's
I
what I
never
wanted
liked
to.
the taste of alcohol. It's gross to me. I was a Moscato drinker, like is basically juice.
Sweet
But
sugar.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
The harder liquors, I would mix it because I wanted the effects, not the taste.
Hmm. Well, thank you for sharing and being honest about it.
Of
Oh, the
course.
cruise. Okay, I remember when you was like
Y-
blistered on the way back on that flight.
Yeah, y'all were asleep. Joe and Amanda, my cousin and my brother took very good care of me that night. So good family.
Good, good, good.
Good. That's good. So, Jazz, when did you know there was a problem? Because you started when you were 18. I mean, was it a year later? Was it 6 months? Was it years? When did you know that there was a problem? Was there an incident that happened or something?
I mean, there were a lot of incidents that piled up, but really, when I was 22, my senior year of college, I was seeing a therapist on campus, and we had talked about it, and I was like, well, I'm a college student. It's college students drink like this. It's normal. And she was like, well, what happens in a couple months when you graduate and you're still drinking like this? And I was like, oh, I didn't think about it like that. But what really was the determining factor for me was, excuse me, she recommended that I go to an Alcoholics Anonymous meeting. And my friends also recommended that. And so I went with the idea that I was going to prove that I'm not as bad as everybody else in this room. Like I don't have as bad a problem as them. I'm a casual drinker, but I got there and it was a women's meeting. So only women were allowed, excuse me, to be there. And they were all significantly older than me, different backgrounds and all this stuff. But when they started sharing about their experience and their feelings and their thought processes behind it, I could relate to every single one of them, even though they couldn't be more different from me. And that's when I really knew, okay, I'm just like them. I have a problem.
Hmm.
Wow. Nothing
So,
like a wake-up call.
It was a big wake up call. It was huge, but I wanted to try to ignore it and run away from it because I didn't want to admit that I had a problem. I didn't want that narrative for me.
well, with
And
that
I
said,
definitely didn't want to stop drinking.
Wow. Okay.
so with that said, did you identify like a trigger, something that made you think, okay, now I want alcohol? What made you get it in your head that, oh, I really want to drink, or I want another drink and another drink?
So it's actually funny because we talk about it in the rooms, which is slang for meeting Alcoholics Anonymous meetings or things like that. So when I say the rooms, I'm talking about AA. We actually talk about it in the rooms where yes, sometimes there are triggers, of course, where you want to drink, but other times it's like, it's a nice day outside. Let me go drink. Oh, it's raining outside. Let me go drink. My senior year of college, it got so bad that I would plan my whole day around getting a drink. And I would try to be like, okay, I'm only going to drink on the weekends. And that didn't work. Okay, I'm only going to drink after class or after I finish my homework. Okay, I'm only going to drink during this class because I have a good grade or whatever. And it just slowly progressed to where I was drinking every single day and spending all my money on alcohol just to escape, just to slow things down. But really, there wasn't any particular trigger. Like if something specific happens, I want to drink. It was like, no, I just want to drink.
Hmm. So when those feelings of I want to drink come in mind, how do you cope? And I know you've done it, but let's share with everybody else how you coped with that desire.
So I am a member of Alcoholics Anonymous. I've been sober for 3.5 years. So over those,
Congratulations.
thank
Awesome.
you,
Yes.
thank you. So over those years, I had to learn coping mechanisms, healthy ones. And they include calling my sponsor, calling one of my friends in the rooms, going to an Alcoholics Anonymous meeting. Because even though I have 3.5 years sober, I tell myself and my sponsees, hey, you need to go to at least 3 meetings a week just to be around that fellowship. So I go to a meeting, and the most important thing is I share about it in the meeting, because a lot of people, even people with time, are embarrassed to share, hey, I kind of want to drink right now, because there's this assumption that, oh, if you have some time, you're cured and you shouldn't want to drink anymore. But that's false. Because once an alcoholic, always an alcoholic. And so sharing about it, being vulnerable with my AA family and saying, hey, I'm struggling. And they always step up, they always show up for me. So it's just communication and being vulnerable.
I like
It's
that.
something
You
how
stick together and help each other. That's
It's a
awesome.
family.
it's something how some people get addicted to alcohol and some don't. It's amazing the different type of DNA that you have, and I know it runs in our family. Matter of fact, on my side and on her dad's side. So it's just amazing to see that some people have the issue and some don't. You
Right.
know.
Right.
So Miss Jasmine, my beautiful
Yes,
daughter,
mom.
I know that alcoholism is just one addiction, and there's so many different type of addiction. And I heard you say you really didn't like the taste, but you liked how it feel. You liked it so it can help slow things down for you. Usually most people are addicted to something because there's an undercurrent of a root cause. What process are you doing to help resolve your root causes that's causing you to want to have that drink? I know you're attending your meetings. Do you sponsors? You have a sponsor. You sponsor someone, and I know you also do counseling and medications. Can you expound on some of the things that you're doing to help you through the process?
Yeah, so Alcoholics Anonymous, there's 12 steps, and they always say steps 1 through 9 deal with the wreckage of your past, and steps 10, 11, and 12 are continued maintenance. So I've already worked steps 1 through 9. I'm currently working them again with my sponsor, but steps 10, 11, and 12 are that recurring maintenance that we always do. Like step 10, for example, is a nightly inventory. And what I like to do for it is every night before I go to bed, I write down 3 things I could have done better to hold myself accountable, 3 things I did do well to lift myself up, and then 5 things that happened throughout the day that I'm grateful for. And the way my sponsor explained that part to me was, if you can't see God in the little things, it's going to be hard for you to see God in everything else. But it's really about, the steps are really about guiding you to a relationship with your higher power. And I say higher power because not everyone in Alcoholics Anonymous is a Christian. It's the God of your own understanding. It can be as simple as or a doorknob, or complex as Christianity or any other major religion. But the point of it is to guide you closer to your higher power. So for me, as long as I'm doing the things I need to do to stay in constant contact with my higher power, I'm not in fear of wanting the drink, because life hasn't been perfect in sobriety. I've had my ups and downs. I've lost jobs, lost friends, lost partners, all that good stuff. I just attended a funeral for one of my friends who died of this disease. And, yeah, it happens and
I'm
it's
sorry
sad,
for your
but
loss.
thank you. But all of those things happen to me, but I have my higher power, and I have that relationship with my higher power. And it helps me with the struggles, because I feel this peace within me, because I'm taught that good or bad, whatever's happening in your life, this too shall pass. So whenever I'm in a down moment and things are going hard, I have to remind myself, this too shall pass, and I will get on the other side of it.
Like a storm going through Dallas and you can't get on your flight.
Yep, and it passed, and I
Yes,
made
and
it
it
home.
That's
The
right.
storm and your emotions, they both passed and you made it home safely.
Exactly.
Jasmine, I relate because that's what my mother always says, this too shall pass. And she's right, and you're right. You just got to go through it. And God takes you through it. You just got to be willing to go for the ride.
Exactly.
Can you say those 3 things again? You said when
Yes.
you in the evening, you
Your inventory.
your
Yes.
inventory
Okay.
list, because I think that's
Yeah.
something that everybody can take away as a positive thing to do.
Mhm.
Okay. Yeah. So, the first thing you write down is 3 things you could have done better during the
Okay.
day, and it's just for the last 24 hours, the day that you just had, not your whole life. Because we focus on one day at a time. So 3 things you could
Mhm.
have done better, 3
Mhm.
things you did do well because you still want to lift yourself up, and then 5 things that happened throughout the day that you're grateful for. And I always tell my sponsees with this last part, I'm like, don't give me something like your car or your house or your dog. Like, those are things that happen that you see every day, but something little like, I had a really nice phone call with my friend, or I had an awesome meditation this morning, or my drink was ready at Starbucks when I got there, or something small that happens throughout the day. So you can find gratitude throughout the day. And that's something you can do every single day, because no matter how good or how bad your day was, you can always find 5 things you're grateful for. You can always find 3 things you need to improve on, and you can always find 3 things you did do well. Like, even if it's something as little as getting out of bed or doing the dishes.
That's
I
awesome.
am so proud of you. That's my baby talking, y'all. Did y'all hear her? Did y'all hear her?
And she's helping someone. She's helping
I
Yes,
our
she
hope
is.
so.
listeners. So that's
I
awesome.
hope so.
Yes.
Yes.
So on that note, we're going to take a quick break and then we will be right back with Miss Jasmine.
Woo-hoo.
And we are back with Miss Jasmine. And Jasmine, again, I want to thank you so much for coming to the island and being candid and being honest. For a 26-year-old, you are very, very mature. So I'm impressed with that. But you are Cheryl's
Thank you.
daughter. You are
She been
Cheryl's
like that
daughter.
all her
So
life. My
Yes.
baby has been the mature one all her life. I'd be like, oh my
Mom's called me
goodness.
an old soul, and she's always like, "You've been here before."
Yes, I used to let her just do her thing because she didn't need no help with anything. It was like, she's
Mhm.
like, I got it. I got it. Okay.
okay.
All right.
She's your daughter.
I know it. I know it. I'm proud of it.
Yeah. So Jasmine, we're going to dig a little bit deeper.
Okay.
And my question is, how hard is it to be around people that are drinking?
When I first came in, I relapsed a lot. Um,
Okay.
and one of the times I did, I was at a landscaping company and we went to a golf tournament, um, to network and things like that. And there were a lot of people drinking, and my boss at the time knew I was sober, and she was being respectful of that and kept checking on me. And I lied and I kept saying, "Oh, I'm okay, I'm okay, I'm okay," but I wasn't. And I didn't drink at the event, but I held on to it, and I drank after the event. But there's actually a passage in the big book, which is the big book of Alcoholics Anonymous, that says if we are spiritually fit, alcoholics can go to places where we shouldn't be allowed to go. I've been into bars, I've been into liquor stores for work. Um, I've been around people that drink. I mean, I just got back from a cruise where they were drinking all the time because I was spiritually fit. And I'm at a place now in my sobriety where I can say, hey, I'm uncomfortable being around this alcohol. I need to take myself out of this situation, or just not put myself in that situation. So today, it is a lot easier for me as long as I'm staying spiritually fit. Like, there's wine in my pantry right now because my partner makes risotto. And I'm okay with that. It doesn't bother me. I mean, I joked and said, if I'm going to relapse, it's not going to be on Sutter Home. But
Sutter home in a box.
Yeah.
yeah. So, but no, for me, it's about being spiritually fit and connected with my higher power and my program. And as long as I'm doing that, it does not bother me if I'm around people that are drinking.
One quick interjection. I want to ask. So, was your drink of choice hard liquor or was it wine?
It was whatever I could get my hands on. I was very lazy when it came to that. I know a lot of people are specific, like, oh, I love whiskey, I love vodka. I loved anything I could mix with Sprite. So, and I would mix really weird things with Sprite because I hated the taste.
Okay.
Um, hmm So I mean, I was buying like $10 tequila in college, and it wasn't great, but I liked the effect. So I really didn't have a drink of choice.
Mm. Okay.
It was more the feeling, the
Yes,
feeling.
exactly.
Awesome. And I know we're talking about alcoholism, but I know that there are also other addictions out there. And so, Jasmine, if a person abstains from alcohol, could they potentially pick up another addiction or vice if they haven't really dealt with the root cause of the issue? And for you, have you dealt with the root cause?
Yeah, so people could easily pick up another vice. I know a lot of alcoholics, when they get sober, they start acting out sexually or with food or with tobacco or whatever, right? But our steps, there's 12 steps of Alcoholics Anonymous. And the first step is the only step that mentions alcohol. Everything else is about dealing with that root cause that you said, right? And I did say it's about getting closer to your higher power, because alcoholics, like anybody else, have a big hole in their chest, and we try to fill it with drugs and alcohol. And that was our solution, not our problem, right? We just had to find a new, healthier solution. So for me, that new, healthier solution is a relationship with my higher power. Um, so I hope that answered the question.
It did. It did. So you're saying that you resolved your root issues by getting closer to God, or as you call him, your higher power.
Yeah, because it's filling that hole that I tried to fill with alcohol. It's filling it with that spiritual connection. Because at the end of the day, my problem wasn't alcohol, it was chasing this feeling and being more secure in myself. And I had to go through this journey of dealing with the wreckage of my past. Like, I mean, one of our steps is literally writing out every single resentment you've ever had in your entire life and figuring out your part in each of those resentments. And then another step, making amends to people like, Mom, you know, I've made an amends to you, and I've made an amends to my brother and other people in my family and my friend groups, and dealing with the wreckage and the damage that I've caused to myself and to other people. And then 10, 11, and 12 is learning how to do life differently. So I'm changing these past behaviors. I'm living life on life's terms when I couldn't do that in the past.
So that had to be very emotional and difficult to go through that process. Do they have support for you all when you're handling that?
Mhm. That's the point of AA meetings, right? To
And having a
build that.
sponsor?
Yeah, and having a sponsor, your sponsor guides you through the step work and is like that that support that you said. But they're not your therapist. There's a difference. They help hold you accountable and things like that. And then the AA groups, like, you hear other people's experience, strength, and hope. Like, that's why it's so important for someone like me now to go to meetings, because I go to meetings for the newcomer to show them that I went through this and I made it through it, and it's possible. And the newcomers go to start building their fellowship. So yeah, there's, I mean, plenty of support. Like tomorrow, I'm actually getting up and sharing my story at a meeting, and I'm going to speak for an entire hour of my experience, strength, and hope to show the newcomers that I went through the same things you did, and I got out on the other side okay, and you can too.
How does that feel when you know that you've helped someone?
It feels really good, but I try not to take credit for it. It's like, so there's another saying, and I'm probably going to throw out a lot of cliches during this because there's so many cliches in the rooms, but freely given what was freely given to me. So when I first came in, there were plenty of women that just took me under their wing and dealt with everything and helped me and walked me through this journey. And so now, and they did it all for free, they didn't ask for anything except for me to be of service when it was my time. So now I'm repaying that love and unconditional love that they gave me by being that person for other people when they first come in.
Awesome. Jasmine, I
I
was going
love
to
you.
ask you.
Back off, Cheryl. Back off.
Yes. I was going to ask you what made you want to share your journey of addiction with us, but I think you've shared it with us already. I don't know if there's anything you want to add about sharing this. You know, what made you say, okay, I'll do the podcast with you all?
I've been begging to be on this podcast for months. And I had to talk to the right person to get me on it.
The executive producer.
Yeah.
That would be me.
But this is just something I'm very passionate about, and something that isn't talked about as often as it should. Whether it's pride, embarrassment, or what, but the program and the people in my program have changed my life and helped me so much. I want to give back to the people that just don't know where to go, because I guarantee you there's going to be someone listening today that has a problem or knows someone that has a problem and can tell them, hey, this is where you go. Like, there's literally an app to find AA meetings near you, and it helps. And as soon as you walk in that door for the first time, it's scary, but that's when your life changes. And I want to help be that first step for somebody.
Well, I'm going to say this to you. I'm so glad you decided to come on the podcast and share your journey, because even though we're old and adults, including your mom, she's younger than us, but you've helped us. You've helped us. So imagine how you've helped the listeners, and you're giving back. So you've already done so many things. And so there's more to come. But I want to backtrack, because I heard you say something, and I know it's hard for some people, and I want you to talk about it. I haven't said it to you before, but when you make amends, how do you overcome that fear? Because that's hard, to make amends with someone. And how do you work through that? And how did you feel after you did make amends?
So working through the fear was just like spending some time with my higher power through prayer and meditation. I remember when I started making amends, it was crazy how it happened. Like, I would pray and ask, like, who is next, basically? Who am I to make an amends to next? And a name would pop into my head. And I remember there was one instance where I made an amends to a friend who lives in Oklahoma. Her name popped into my head, and I reached out to her, and she said, what a coincidence, I'm actually going to be in Dallas this weekend. So I was like, that's God,
Yes.
and it was just like the piece of knowing I'm doing the right thing. And the thing about amends is they teach us, you're focusing on cleaning your side of the street. So someone that you make an amends to might also owe you an amends, or might have also wronged you or caused you harm. But your focus is on what you did. Because I've made plenty of amends to people that have also caused me harm, and they didn't make an amends to me back. But I was okay because I cleaned my side of the street. And I was able to clear my wreckage. I'm not worried about theirs because I only have control over mine.
I love it. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
So you mentioned the
That's
app,
for anybody
Jasmine.
making amends. Yes.
You mentioned the app on alcoholism, AA. And what is the name of the app that they can download?
Let me see. Oops. It is called Meeting Guide.
So Meeting Guide is the name of the app. And so if they wanted to download the app, it'll actually show them where meetings are in their location, in their region.
Yeah.
Is it a
Based off
free
their
app?
location. It's a free app. It's got a little white chair on it, and you can even filter it to men's only meetings, women's meetings, LGBT meetings, big book study, 12 and 12, or you can just do this day, this time. But it does it based off your location, and you can set the radius. Like, I had a job, I think a year ago, where I was traveling every other week. So I would look up women's meetings near me so I could go to a women's meeting while I was traveling. And every meeting you go to, it's like your home. I can be in a room full of strangers, and they give me nothing but love.
Beautiful.
That's awesome.
So if you are addicted to alcohol, are you always addicted to alcohol?
Yes. Once an alcoholic, always an alcoholic. There's actually a story in the big book about this guy who he was in his 20s, and he was struggling with alcohol, and he knew he wouldn't get anywhere in business if he continued how he was going. So he abstained from alcohol for 20, 30 years, and he was able to retire a successful man, and he started drinking again. And within a couple of years, he died because of the alcoholism, because he
Wow.
would try to quit and it wouldn't work. So, yes, once an alcoholic, always an alcoholic. So it's
Wow.
like I'm abstaining forever, but it seems overwhelming when you look at it like that. So I always
Mm-hmm.
tell my sponsees and my friends, I'm abstaining today. I don't know what
Mm-hmm.
tomorrow looks like, but for today, I'm not going to drink.
Okay.
One day at a time.
Exactly.
So you just mentioned your friends. So my question is, how has your family and friends supported you?
So I'll talk about my friends first, because they live here in Dallas. They're my friends that I've met in the rooms, and they're people I can call if I need anything. I mean, whenever I've struggled and needed X, Y, and Z, they've been right there, and it's been awesome. My family, it took them a while. It did. They didn't realize how big of a problem I had because I hid it so well. Um, and when I finally started to open up to them about how bad it was, the support started to come. So that kind of goes back to like the original thing I was saying about being vulnerable. Like once I had that vulnerability with my family, I could see their support, because I know there's so many people in the rooms that have just caused so much damage that their family doesn't want anything to do with them. And I've seen a lot of people repair those relationships, and I've seen a lot of people have peace that they didn't. But for me, my family has been very supportive. My sobriety birthday is actually 6 days before my
Real
regular
birth.
birthday.
Mm-hmm.
Or your belly button birthday is what we call it, which is your regular birthday. But my mom, I asked for just a simple get together where she made gumbo, and she went all out. And she also celebrated my sobriety birthday as well during that party. And it was the first time I got to celebrate that with my family. And it felt
Yeah.
really, really good.
Love you, baby.
Back
But
off,
that
Sharon.
gumbo was good, wasn't it, Jazz?
Yes,
It was
it
very good.
was.
Well, Jazz, we're gonna begin to wind down here because I don't want to hold you
Okay.
for the rest of the afternoon, but I just want to say that you have inspired me tremendously. I'm very proud of you. Like I said earlier, to be a 26-year-old, you're very mature. You got your head on straight. I just want to wish you all the best. I mean, it's continuous, like you said, daily. And I'm going to make sure I'm praying for you. And you're just awesome. I'm just, wow. Keep it up. Keep it up.
Thank you.
Well,
Yes,
I'm
she
gonna
is.
say ditto because I always take delight and joy in the things that I ask your mom and dad. How's Jazz? What is she doing? But this is a monumental thing that you've done, and it doesn't only affect you, you're impacting so many people even before you came on the podcast. And so I'm just in awe of how you just want to give back, want to help newcomers in this journey of addiction. So God is working through you. I'm not a minister like your mom, but I'm telling you, He's working through you, and you've brought us a lot of joy, and you've made me look at myself. So I'm going to work on some things, and I can't wait to do my inventory every night. So thank you, Jasmine. We love you.
Yes.
Love y'all.
Yes, and I want to say to my daughter, I'm so very proud of you. I'm trying to sit here and not get emotional because I know Lady Vee gonna put this on YouTube. I'm trying not to have an ugly cry on the Zoom camera. But I just want to say I'm so proud of you, and you're such a compassionate person. You give to those other sponsees that you have, you give a lot to them. You make sure that you're there for them when they need you. And there's so many countless other things that you have done that you told me about, from rescuing a little baby to trying to help the mother and the father to get off of drugs and alcohol. I just want to say that I'm so proud of you, and thank you so much for sharing your story, because I know that we overcome by the blood of the Lamb and the words and the power of our testimony. And your testimony was very powerful. So thank you for sharing.
Yes.
Thank you guys for having me.
Yes, and you know what?
Will you come back?
Yeah, will you come
If
back?
y'all let me.
Oh,
Yes.
Yes, you got to speak to the right person, though.
Well, let me clear the air, first of all. My daughter's been asking me to be on the podcast for a long time, but my daughter is so multifaceted. This is only one aspect of her life.
True.
And so we were trying to figure out which category, which topic do we want to talk about?
That's true.
You know, millennials in corporate America. Do we want to talk about mental health? Do we want to talk about addiction? It's so many things that make up Jasmine. So we were trying to iron that out. And the weekend she came, which was this past weekend, I had asked her that question, and she said addiction. And sure enough, Vanita asked her the same question, and Vanita's like, okay, let's do it.
Perfect.
That's it. So once again, thank you so much, Jazz, for coming to the island. You are welcome anytime. And we may touch base with you 6 months to a year and have you back on and maybe be a co-host and talk about hot topics.
Okay.
Sounds good?
We'll love it.
Sounds great.
Okay. Well, we will let you go, Jazz. Be good and be safe.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
So right.
Y'all are funny.
But it may be an extra. I'm putting a list of extras and bloopers and stuff like that.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead. What were you asking?
Okay, so so what I was saying is the third step is doing the next right thing and trusting that everything will be okay, because it's the essence of faith, right? It's taking action, but it's prayer, but it's also taking action. The things that happen in my life don't just happen because I pray for it to happen. I have to put in the action and trust that my higher power is going to do the extra part on the back end.
Jasmine, I keep saying, referring to my mom, but she says, when you pray, then be sure you have the faith and put some feet on those prayers. So when you say take action, that reminds me of her. So thank you.
Put some feet on those prayers. That's another message right there.
You know what? Cheryl, can you write your own sermons?
I'm writing this down.
Can you write your own? Let me go on and write you one.
Fitness and feet on prayers.
Yeah. I'll come up with a question for you too.
Now that we're talking about prayer and everything, Philippians 4:6.
Yes.
When you read that and you worry about nothing, be anxious about nothing, but in everything pray with prayer, thanksgiving and supplication. That's all you need.
That's right. You're
Philippians 4:6, listeners.
And he'll give you peace that surpasses all understanding, that will guard your heart and your mind in Christ Jesus.
Yes.
I finished the rest of it for you, BJ.
Thank you. I know part of it by heart, but thank you.
Oh my goodness.
Because it's that peace that hits you. Because a lot of times we can pray about something and still don't have peace, you know. But like Jasmine said, you know, once you start doing your part and just have faith that it's going to fall into place, that's peace when you have faith.
Well, the important thing is it'll fall into place eventually, not in your timing, but in your higher powers. It can't.
That's another sermon.
Not your time. Not your time.
We gotta write down
times. Yeah, there have been plenty of times when I've wanted something right away, and later down the line, something better comes my way. You know, so.
Young people want things. I always talk about this on the podcast. Young people want things instantly and quickly.
Yep.
Thus is the texting and the, you know, even a microwave. You want it quick. You don't want to turn on the oven and put your chicken in there to read it. You want it quick. So there's an air fryer, there's a microwave. And you know, I'm the same way. I want things.
I was gonna say, not just young people. I'm like that too. When I want something, I want it.
But as a seasoned person that's older, I've learned to kind of curve those want it right now and kind of, you know, try to be patient. I mean, sometimes my patience runs thin, but I still know that I need to wait on God for whatever's going to happen, you know? So write that down, Cheryl.
For your next 3
Wait.
sermons, you got something.
Yeah,
I'm gonna put red light, green light, 1, 2, 3. Y'all didn't get that, did you?
I know that
No.
old school game.
But you know, when the Lord is telling me the way he gave me the analogy that I have you at a red light for a reason, because I'm moving some things in front of you and around you. I don't want you to have an accident. So hold tight at the light until I clear out the intersection, and then I'm gonna let you go. So that's the analogy I always see when it says wait. It's like red light, because if I go too fast, I can cause another problem. If I do a collision with somebody else's, something that's going on that I'm not supposed to be involved in.
And then next you proceed with caution with the yellow light, right?
There you go. And green,
Yes.
you just floor it. Green,
And
you floor it.
You floor it because God's got you and you got his approval. There you go.
Yes.
Red
Write
light,
it
green
down,
light,
Cheryl.
1, 2, 3.
You're not writing down my sermon notes.
Yeah, okay, I'm writing it. I'm writing
Write that down. Floor it.
Floor it.
Jasmine, they said they wouldn't keep you all afternoon. See how they do?
I'm gonna stop.